Does this generation have like any sense of tradition? Like the old ways, it was always like the gentleman being the gentleman to the woman, and I'll always be that way. But like I've noticed over the years with dating, like I'm always the type to like get out of my car and open the door for her. But like I'll do that sometimes, and like they'll look at me like I'm like kind of crazy.
Here's where we're going wrong with the conservative movement. And this goes for people who are selling the idea of traditional dating, traditional gender roles, traditional marriages, and the young generation who is buying it. Because on paper, it looks great, right? It looks like an episode of Leave It to Beaver where everyone is happy 24/7. The guy goes off to work. He comes home. His wife is like vacuuming in pearls and hands him a drink and makes sure the kids are fed and everything's just fine and dandy. Everyone has their roles and that's the way it should be. And it's a false sense of reality because if you look at sort of the past when that was the expectation, that was what was happening outside the home. And what I mean by that is the picture that people would paint when they would go and talk to friends or how they would carry themselves when they were out and about in public. Behind closed doors, there was so much that went on: abuse, alcoholism, drug addiction, all kinds of things that would go on behind closed doors that were considered matters of the home. In fact, it wasn't illegal on a nationwide level to rape your spouse until 1993. Think about that. I was born in 1990, so that law is younger than I am. And we also have to look at the fact that there was necessity when it came to marriage, especially for women. Until 1974, women could not get a credit card, could not open a bank account, could not get a loan, could not start a business without a male cosigner. And the other thing was, in order to survive, they needed to marry because they could do jobs like be a secretary, be a nurse, be a teacher, but any sort of high earnings job, those were reserved for men. You did not see women who became lawyers or worked as the CEO of a business. That just wasn't achievable. It wasn't a possibility. What I'm getting at here is that marriage and relationships were different in the fact that people had to keep things behind closed doors and people needed to be married to achieve certain things in life. And now I think marriages have not changed. There are still bad things that go on, except for now we are able to talk about these things more openly in society. Now we are more able to have access to things like divorce. Now we can go to the police and report certain things that maybe we couldn't in the past. Women specifically have more independence and don't need to marry to achieve certain things. So this idea that like things were better in the past, it doesn't work. It's always been the same. It's just that laws and societal expectations have shifted. So we aren't going to go back. We can't put, what does this say? You can't put the something back in the can. Like, you just can't. We've opened Pandora's box. We know what goes on behind closed doors in people's bad relationships and toxic relationships. And we cannot pretend this is Leave It to Beaver anymore.